Hey family, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Zarinah Cooks, and we are making candy yams. It is the holiday season, and I wanted to give you one of my most requested and favorite things to make. So this is how I make candy yams. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and peel my candy yams, and then I'm going to go ahead and put them in the pot and cover them with water, bring them to a boil, and cook for about 15 minutes. The reason why I do this is to kind of get them more tender, so that way they're not spending so much time cooking in the oven. So once they've cooked for about 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the water and put them aside and let them cool down enough to be able to handle them with my hands. So once I've done that, the next thing that I will go ahead and do is start to dice them up. So dice them up to your liking, whether you want to cube them or just slice them the way that I'm doing. Whatever way feels comfortable for you. I like to keep my slices pretty thin, not too thin to where they're breaking up, but not too thick either. So use your best judgment when you do that. I am using a whole bag of yams, so I believe it's about a 5-pound bag. So you'll see me cook in measurements for that. However, I will have all of the ingredients and measurements in the description box, so make sure you take a look, so that way you'll be able to make this at home, whether it be for the holidays or anytime you want fresh candy yams for your family. So what I'm doing here is dicing all of my yams and putting them in this baking dish. I don't want them to be too much on top of each other. So if you have too many, you may want to split them between, multiple baking dishes, but you want to give them their own space. So once we've gone ahead and diced all of our yams, the next thing we're going to do is make our syrup. I like to use Karo syrup because it also extends or stretches my cinnamon, sugar, and spice lot more, so that I don't have to use as much powdered or granulated sugar. So I do 1 bottle of Karo, and then I'm going ahead and adding in some brown sugar. Again, don't worry too much about the measurements that you're seeing me do, as I'm making a big pan. I'll put the exact measurements in the description box, and then you can adjust it according to the size that you're doing. So to the syrup and brown sugar, I am adding cinnamon and nutmeg. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add in my orange juice. Orange juice really brings out the brightness. It's that acidity that helps the flavor come out, and also just provides that freshness that you're looking for when you have candy yams, or maybe a sweet potato pie or something like that. There's that note of flavor that you're like, what is that? And that's orange for me. So you put some orange juice in there, and then I'm also grating in a little bit of the orange peel. Not going crazy with the orange peel, but enough to give it that brightness. So we're gonna whisk our syrup really well. And that's the consistency that you want. It's syrupy, it's thick, but it's not stiff. We're gonna go ahead in with some vanilla. And we're gonna do some cornstarch. The cornstarch is gonna help thicken up that syrup so it's not too watery, because of course when you cook it, the water is gonna come out of the potatoes, and so the cornstarch is gonna help keep that consistency of the syrup. Always taste, make sure that the flavors are there. How that syrup tastes is basically how your yams are gonna come out. So you wanna make sure you like how that is. I'm simply gonna go ahead and cover my potatoes with that syrup. I want every last drop of that syrup. That's how good it was. So then I'm gonna go ahead in with a few slices of butter for more richness. And then we're gonna go ahead and cover it with aluminum foil and cook it on 350 for about 50 to 60 minutes. Once you have it in the oven, make sure you come back and check on it every now and then. Feel free to baste your potatoes, because if it's not completely submerged in the liquid, then some of those potatoes on the top may not get to soak in as much juice. So come back periodically and baste the potatoes with that syrup, and this is what it will look like. It made nice syrup, a lot of syrup, and it'll thicken up as it cools, but that is what it looks like. I'm flipping those over, making sure those that were on the top are getting on the bottom so that they can get into that syrup. And that is it, you guys. The final step that I'll do is just hit them with a little bit more of the cinnamon sugar and cinnamon, because I just like for my potatoes to be a little bit more brown, and so they're a little too light skinned for me. So let me just give them a little bit of color with the cinnamon sugar or cinnamon, and that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and cover them up and let them cool. But this is how I make my candied yams, and they are a hit year after year after year. Let me know if you're gonna try this. Make sure you drop it for me in the comments, and check the description box for the exact ingredients and measurements so that you can cook at home. I love you, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.